What's poppin' people, I'm Rated D and I've tested positive for swag, and in this video I'm going to give you guys my picks for the 2016 Corporate Slave Awards. Now before we get started, I just want to say that I am highly disappointed in the fact that I was not nominated. I mean, you've got some guys on here that have been pretty much non-existent on YouTube this year, and I've been sitting here grinding for Sony day in and day out. So what this means is that you can expect me to go crazy for the next year. And believe me, when I say crazy, I mean crazy. So you're about to be shocked at some of what you're going to see from my channel. But moving on from that, let's get right onto the topic of this video, which is the picks for the Corporate Slave Awards. We're going to start off with the first round and the first matchup, which is Mooch versus Zob70. Quite frankly, this is by default Mooch wins this because Zob70, he's not a corporate slave. I mean, Zob is just a troll. I mean, he used to support PlayStation and then he tried to do the El Pressador switcheroo and start, trashing Sony, and it totally bombed. I mean, it bombed. So nobody even cares about Zob. He's just a troll. He's a bad troll at that. So Mooch definitely wins this. Congratulations, Mooch, for moving on to the second round. Next matchup is Timdog versus Hip Hop Gamer. I almost said Crap Gamer. Timdog versus Hip Hop Gamer. You have the Xbox fanboy versus the gaming fanboy. Now, honestly, I haven't heard too much crazy stuff out of Hip Hop Gamer this year. He's just been playing games and enjoying life. Timdog, on the other hand, this dude is still going crazy on Twitter. I mean, this dude... Look, if the Corporate Slave Awards were just about Twitter, Twitter is Timdog's home turf. I mean, this dude would win hands down in a heartbeat. So the fact that this dude is still going at it as crazy as he is, I mean, again, this is almost by default Timdog has to win. Next matchup is NextGen 720 versus the Black Baron. Now look, I love the Black Baron's videos. I think he's very entertaining, very charismatic. But he has been pretty much non-existent on YouTube this year. Heck, he hasn't even done all that much on Twitter either. From time to time he may get involved in something, but he hasn't done much corporate slaving. So again, almost by default, NextGen has to win this. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. We need to add some variety to the Corporate Slave Awards because, look, Baron may have done stuff in the past, but this year he's done almost nothing. What is he? He doesn't deserve to be on this list. He's not been that much of a corporate slave this year. You know what I mean? So Zaire definitely wins this, and he's moving on to the next round. Next matchup is Iron Wolf versus Stone Fox Media. Two people that have been very quiet this year. You could make the case that neither one of them deserves to be on the list. But Iron Wolf had something big happen this year. If you guys remember, he had the entire internet buzzing over a supposed Battletoads for the Xbox One. And the fact that Iron Wolf would bring out something like this and get the entire internet talking about it after the travesty that was Microsoft's E3 to try to damage control that for that just mess of a show, it shows how dedicated Iron Wolf still is, even though he's not as active as he's been in the past. So that one incident moves Iron Wolf up to the next round. Congratulations, Iron Wolf. Next matchup is Crap Gamer versus Ghost Rider 720. Again, almost by default, Crap Gamer wins this. Dude has just been on his grind. I mean, YouTube, Twitter, all the new podcasts that he's in. It's not just the old podcast, it's the new podcast. Crap Gamer has been on top of his game, and he easily moves on to the next round. Congratulations, Crap. The next matchup is Kid Smooth versus Drone Crusher. Now, believe me, I want Drone Crusher to win this, but Kid Smooth has had a terrible year. Drone Crusher would add some variety, but Kid Smooth has just he's shown himself to be a total psychopath. So Kid Smooth definitely moves up in this round. I used to think the guy was alright. I used to think he was just an Xbox fan. This year he's shown himself, like I said, to be a total psychopath. I'm gonna blow up both your knees, Black Bond. Next matchup is Obi-Wan Plays versus Blackie Lebowski. Now, Obi-Wan Plays is very passionate about Nintendo, makes daily videos, he streams all the time. If you're a Nintendo fan, I mean, obviously you're going to be checking out Obi-Wan Plays videos. Blackie Lebowski, on the other hand, he's been, I mean, he made some videos at the beginning of the year, but he's just been living life for most of this year. Again, I don't understand why he's even on this list. So almost by default, Obi-Wan Plays is going to move on to the next round, even though, like I said, Obi-Wan's just a Nintendo fan. He's not really corporate slaving. Lebowski's been non-existent, so why is Lebowski even on this list? It doesn't make sense. And the last matchup for round 1 is JTech TV versus Dr. Trey 81. And the reason Dr. Trey 81 easily wins this matchup is because of the fact that he claims to be this big Nintendo fanboy that can beat Uncharted 4 on the hardest difficulty, no problem. Well, I think we saw how that turned out. Dr. Trey 81 is not even a gamer, and he is damage controlling for Nintendo day in and day out. It's absolutely hilarious. Definitely one of my favorite YouTube channels. I also believe I was the first person to follow him on Twitter, so you got that going as well. Obviously, Spaghetti and I are huge fans of Dr. Trey 81, and he's definitely going to win this because, like I said, he's not a gamer yet. He's damage controlling for a company that doesn't care about him. So now we're on to the second round, and the first matchup in this round is Mooch versus Timdog. Now this is like best friends going at it, you know, all punches thrown. At the end of the day, I'm gonna have to pick Mooch simply because of the fact that he's very active on Twitter and he's extremely active on YouTube, whereas Timdog is extremely active on Twitter and a little bit active on YouTube. So like I said, Mooch is easily winning this and moving on to the next round. Congratulations, Mooch. Now on to the next matchup, you have Next Gen 720 versus Iron Wolf. Now Zaire, he's been doing what he's been doing. He's done a lot more podcasts lately instead of actual videos, so that kind of, you know, it shows that he's not the one specifically damage controlling all the time. Whereas, like I said, with Iron Wolf, he had something that, to me, it seems like Zaire took a step back this year because of so many new podcasts, and he's not always the one damage controlling, you know what I mean? But with Iron Wolf, he had a massive bomb this year that he dropped with the Battletoads fiasco. So again, Iron Wolf, this is something we have never seen before. Iron Wolf has been pretty much non-existent this year, and yet he is still killing it because of one bomb that he dropped. So Iron Wolf, I'm going to have to pick him to move on to the next round. Next matchup is Crap Gamer versus Kid Smooth. Again, ordinarily I would pick Crap Gamer, and he, like I said, he's been on his grind. But Kid Smooth has had such a unique year. It's hard for me to go against him. You know, Xbox won my heart. Blackbond, I'm gonna blow out both your knees. You're gonna die tonight. This is more than just corporate slaving. This is complete and utter insanity. So Kid Smooth is gonna beat Crap Gamer, a huge upset, and move on to the next round. And for the last matchup, we have Obi-Wan Plays versus Dr. Trey 81. Like I said, Obi-Wan is just a Nintendo fan. He's not damage controlling all the time. He's just playing his games, talking about news and rumors. That's what Obi-Wan does. Dr. Trey, on the other hand, is a total corporate slave, damage controlling for a company that doesn't care about him, and he can't even play their games. So Dr. Trey, again, he's not a gamer, and he's damage controlling all the time. Dr. Trey easily wins this. I don't understand how this can possibly be an upset. Obi-Wan shouldn't even be in the top 10. Dr. Trey should be, these two positions should be flipped. Dr. Trey at 3 and Obi-Wan at 11. So Dr. Trey moves on to the next round. Oh man, we're down to the final 4. Mooch, Iron Wolf, Kid Smooth, and Dr. Trey 81. Now for the first matchup, we've got Mooch versus Iron Wolf, and quite frankly, this is where Iron Wolf his run is going to come to an end right here. He had a great run, fantastic run, based off one atomic bomb that he dropped in the middle of the year. He was able to almost make it to the finals. I mean, that is a great run. I'm expecting better things from Iron Wolf next year. You know, fantastic run. But we're going to have to give this one to Mooch. Mooch has just been doing it all this year. I mean, you can't not give it to Mooch right now. So Mooch is going to move on to the finals. Next matchup is Kid Smooth versus Dr. Trey 81. Now again, Dr. Trey had a terrible situation with Uncharted 4. Absolutely terrible. Horrendous, one might say. But at the end of the day, Kid Smooth's year has been even worse. These two guys have probably had the worst year out of anybody in our community. But Kid Smooth, his was just worse. I mean, my goodness, do I even need to say anymore? I brought it up already. The guy has just, oh my goodness, it's hilarious. So Kid Smooth, congratulations, you beat out the King Nintendrone, Dr. Trey 81. And now we are officially in the finals. Kid Smooth and Mooch going at it, and I mean, honestly, Mooch is just too much for Kid Smooth. Kid Smooth cannot handle everything that Mooch is throwing at him. He can't do it. He can't handle it. It is just too much. So congratulations, Mooch, the Mooch 78, for at least according to what my prediction is, being the 2016 Corporate Slave of the Year. Next year I'm going to do my best to take your place, but congratulations, Mooch. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you all for watching, and keep it frosty.